look around you. Where you are right now, as you're watching this, look around your house. There are tools you have you're not using that can actually fetch you a whole lot of funds.
Forget about what people are saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. What people say about you or think about you is none of your business.
Many entrepreneurs want to build a business at the same time feed from the business. It cannot work. In Lagos,
but you just get to do something. Stop waiting for the manna to fall from heaven.
Never you at any point think you have 100% strength. It's not possible. So as a leader, you focus on your strength 100%, then your weakness, you get someone to fill it in. Now, the person you are bringing in, ensure that the person's weakness is your strength.
You have to come with something to the table. So what are you coming with as a woman? What are you bringing? Is it your intellect? Is it your beauty? We all know that beauty doesn't help anybody. If not, I'll be where Dangote is today.
Please, if you are listening to me, don't try and sell what is not sellable if you don't have the funds to push it.
Thank you for connecting with Simeon Ononubi today. Live sessions hold every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Please turn on post notifications for live updates.
Hello, everyone. Yes, this is Connect with Simeon. This is another exciting episode. Thank you guys for joining on Friday, and where we delved into the real deal when it comes to building businesses, when it comes to working for companies, when it comes to growing yourself. For all those that got feedback, for all those that sent emails, thank you very much. You can still go back to the YouTube channel, Connect with Simeon, and watch as many videos as can inspire you to greatness. And today we have a bumper package. I have a great guy coming into the studios today. I would say I've been part of his journey, and I know all the struggles, all the hustles and things that he has done, his successes, his failures, his rebooting, his everything. So grab your popcorn, whatever it is that that will make you comfortable. Just sit down and hear the hustle of this guy. Also, today I'm going to be announcing the launch of the platform. So we're launching what we call Thank You Cash Ambassadors. It is a platform that allows you to actually own a business on the Thank You Cash platform, and you can earn as little as 200,000 every month, just as little as 200,000 every month, just as a side hustle. I'm going to be talking about how that would work, and it's going live today for the first time after this program. So make sure you stay tuned. Without much ado, my guest is in the studios, so I'm going to be bringing it in. So that is Chinonso Ogbogu is in the building. Finally, he comes. I mean, the first time I invited him, he fell to malaria. I don't know why. I don't know why he would allow malaria to beat him up that way. But I think it was COVID. So here he is, making Africa proud, making Nigeria proud, making me proud. So Chinonso, I hope you can hear me.
Very well.
We can hear you, Chinonso.
I can hear you very well.
Cool. So Chinonso is here. Yes,
can you hear me now?
Perfectly. Yes, perfectly. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we already have 10 people watching. So let's kick it off. Chinonso, I like being real. So there's been this. I mean, the program is all about being real because we want to inspire Africans. We want to inspire people with our hustles and also with our successes. And the idea for me is simple. It is to bring and showcase people that are actually doing the great things. It's not just for us in Africa. It's also for people around the world to see that Africans are doing stuff. Africans are doing wonderful stuff. It's just I mean, they might be cooped up in one, studio in Ajegule or one place in Akwonjo, even in VI or Lekki. But we need to showcase this guy to the world. We need to showcase ourselves to the world, and that's why this program started. It was just a question of when do we start showing Africans? When do people know that yes, there are people doing some great stuff out there? So I decided to bring you in. Your story has been marvelous, and I want you to tell it as raw can be. People like people don't understand. I remember the meeting we had under my canopy in my house. When you just came to when you're trying to like grow your stuff. I mean, I learned a lot of things, and people don't understand. This thing doesn't take yesterday or today. It takes time. It takes time to grow. It takes time to make mistakes. It takes time to grow. So, so tell us about your yesterday. How did this all start?
Okay, so first, before I go into that, I would like to say a very big thank you to you for inviting me. It's an honor. I am deeply, deeply, deeply grateful. I also apologize that I turned down the offer for like twice. Of course, you said malaria got a hold on me. And actually, the reason malaria got a hold on me could be traced to entrepreneurship. And probably I should just say that straight up so somebody understands why that happened. Of course, we all went through the lockdown. And at some point, I had to shut down Sabi Villa. Sabi Villa is actually the name of our corporate head office here in Lagos. But the business was almost at the verge of, closing up because clients were calling, some clients were asking for their refund, and our writers, our editors could not do the best they could working from home because of the infrastructural deficiency that we have here in Nigeria. At some point, I just had to make a very tough decision, and I said, screw it, and I moved and relocated to Sabi Villa. I was sleeping on bare floor just to get things done. And I remember I was writing for about 18 hours every day. And when you sleep in such environment, you're bound to be eaten by mosquitoes. So during the period of lockdown, I was sleeping on bare floor, walking, and then I think when the lockdown was eased, the whole backload of mosquito biting me eventually turned into malaria, which I had to go to the hospital for. Okay, that by the way, I'm Chinonso Ogbogu. I currently run an organization with my co-founder called Sabi Writers here in Lagos, Nigeria. And Sabi Writers is purely a writing company. What we do is simply write. But beyond just the writing, is a company that is rooted on a strong philosophy of creating a platform for young people, young talents across Africa to find expression for their gift and find a safe place to be all they want to be. That is why we are constantly, investing heavily on how we create the right workspace for all our talents to thrive. But of course, it didn't start there. I'm excited that you mentioned Ajegule in your introduction, and interestingly, you used the bad example in explaining Ajegule. But of course, that's where I grew up from. I grew up in a family of 5 in a one-room apartment in Ajegule, and then I read banking and finance in school. I initially wanted to be a banker. And why? Because when I was growing up, my dad used to take me to First Bank in Marina, and I loved the way they were dressed, the AC and everything. And I told him that I was going to be a banker. So when it was time for me to fill in for my college education, I filled in banking and finance, and then I went to school to study banking. By the time I was in my 3rd year, I knew that I was not cut out for that because I wanted more. I wanted to do something much more different. And of course, that was how it started. Cut a long story short, I graduated from school, one of the best in the department. And then I remember calling my parents, my dad and mom, after finishing my NYS in Calabar, Cross River State. And I said, you know what, I don't want to be a banker anymore. And they were confused. They were surprised, And they said, so you mean the 4 years plus your IT, 5 years in school, were all wasted? And I said, no. So they asked me, what exactly do you want to do? I said, I want to be a public speaker. And of course, my dad and mom are not quote unquote schooled, so they really did not understand what I meant by I wanted to be a public speaker. And they asked me to explain. My mom said, so you mean you just be talking and somebody will pay you? I said, yes, that's what I want to do. They were, are you sure this is really what you want to do? And I said, yes. And they said, well, we don't understand you, but because you are our child, we'll support you. So what's the next thing? I said, well, I want to leave Lagos and go start off in Enugu. So my dad was the first person that gave me the first startup capital by investing 40,000 naira in on a very old laptop, HP laptop, which I still have in my office to date because it reminds me of my roots. And I remember going to Enugu and I started off from there. And for 3-4 years, I was in Enugu. I was everywhere. I was on radio. I had a radio program called Success Matters, airing on 3 radio stations and cutting across 12 states in Nigeria. I was popular, quite all right, but I was broke. The reason I was broke, will surface later on in my story. But a lot of things played out in Enugu. I could not feed myself. I remember my dad and mom. First of all, it was my mom that came to Enugu to see me. And she came to where I was living and she was crying. And she looked at where I was living, which, apparently looked like a place where pigs used to stay. Grass is everywhere. Pardon me, the loo that we had in the building, or maybe it's still there, I don't know, is, they call it in Ajegule or in Pidgin English, Shalanga. So it's not a normal, use the rest of them flush. It's a pit and then it was very, very dirty. It was very bad. I remember one day I was reading at home and I was lying on the floor and I was faced to the door. I have this hole that was on my door, and while I was reading, a particular green snake was just crawling into my house, and I shouted, "Jesus!" And the snake ran away. But that would go a long way to show you or to prove to you how bad the place was and how it was filled with grasses and all those kind of stuff. My mom came to the house and then looked at me and she started crying. And she said something in Igbo language. She said, and I will explain in English. She said, "Chinonso, oeba gebo." Chinonso, oeba gebo. And it means in English, Chinonso, is this where you are living? I know there are certain questions that they are not necessarily asking you because of an answer they needed, but they are asking you because of their shock.
Yeah.
And I said, yes. I remember my dad, I'm the first son in my family, so I remember my dad coming down to Enugu to see me, and he had to sleep on bare floor because, the place was not. But I remember back then, I had many dreams, visions, ideas. I had them script on notepads and then all over my walls. So they served as my, my interior decoration, different ideas. So one day my mom called me and said, "Chinonso, if this thing you're doing in Enugu is not working, please, can you come to Lagos? Can you relocate to Lagos? When you're passionate, you're young, you're excited about what you're doing." I told them, "Look, give me some time. I'm going to make it." But imagine a situation whereby you're leaving, you left your first son, you left and went to Enugu to start, but your parents are still sending you food stuff, they're still sending you money, which should have been the other way around, right? But that was the situation I found myself. To cut the long story short, because the story is gory and I don't want to bore you with all the detail, but I remember, there were days I could not afford to eat. There were days I remember one day, particular day that I didn't even have money to buy matches to light up the stove to warm the remaining rice that I had the previous night. So I had to eat the rice that cold. But I kept on believing until one day I knew that I was done. And then there's this experience that I'm a bit, pardon me if I'm taking my time because I'm a bit emotional saying this. There was a time I only had home and abroad. All I had in my bank account was 1,300 naira. Of course, the 1,000 naira is the minimum balance. You can't take it. This is your money, but the bank will not allow you to take it. And then, of course, because it would be embarrassing for me to go and stand in the queue in the bank to ask them to give me 300 naira. Of course, there's a difference. Going to the bank to pay in 300 naira is quite different from going to the bank to withdraw 300 naira. They are two different things. So because I could not, I had to borrow 700 naira from someone. Went into the banking hall and paid in the 700 naira. And then went to the ATM and withdrew 1,000 naira so that I could live or I could survive. And at some point I said, I was done and I would be relocating to Lagos. I was broke, I was close to depression, I was sick. I remember the day I was coming to Lagos, it was my elder sister that sent me 30,000 naira for transport. And I got to the park, all I had was 12 big Ghana must go loaded with books. That was all I brought to Lagos on 1st of October 2014. Failed young man. You have told your younger ones that you're going to make it, and you're back to your family house after 4 years with nothing to show for it. And then you're coming back to one-room apartment in Ajigule with 12 big Ghana must go loaded with books. Just to picture that experience. But I'm proud of the kind of parents that I have. I call them my parents are parents of second chance. You know, every one of us in the family has gotten a second chance. So my dad was at the park around 12 midnight to come pick me up with all the books that I brought back. My mom rearranged, you know, women are very, incredible set of creatures. Let me use that word. She had to rearrange the one-room apartment so that my 12 big Ghana school of books could enter. And then I got back. By the time I got to Lagos, the next day I collapsed, and then I was rushed to the hospital because I was tired. I was frustrated. I was broke. I was tired. So
this was just 6 years ago. You're 6 years ago.
Yeah. So I was rushed to the hospital. There's a way you get admitted to the hospital, if you can picture it, and your problem becomes other people's problem. So what to eat in the morning, what to eat in the afternoon, at night, it doesn't bother you. In the morning they brought me rice. So I was just feeling like, man, I should just stay here. This life is just let me just stay in this hospital. I just enjoy myself, because all the things I was worried about, somebody else was taking care of. Well, at some point,
not to cut you, but just to get guys, a lot of people are joining. So Chinonso had a job, had a dream, got a job, but didn't have money. He was so broke. He lived like he explained, like a pig in his own house. His mom had to come to the house, slept on the bare floor, pitying this young man, and that was just 6 years ago. Guys, don't get it twisted. This is just, we're not talking about, Chinonso is not 60 years. We're not talking about 40 years ago. We're saying just 6 years ago. So, Chinonso, back to you.
So, first son, you're living with your parents in the family house, one-room apartment in Ajegule, and then your dad is going to work and is giving you 200 naira for pocket money. Just imagine. Come on. And, it was crazy. But let me just move away from that. And one day I sat back and I was asking myself, so why did you fail? What exactly was the reason why you failed? So I went to church, I was crying. It was so terrible that I remember my mom taking me to a crusade ground. There's a particular crusade that happened around our area, and they used to attend there. Then my mom used to spend so much time in Blessed Sacrament. I'm a Catholic. And when your mother takes your case to Blessed Sacrament, just know that it's a serious one. She will cry, she will fast. And eventually she took me to a crusade that was being held around the area. My other sister was there, my other siblings were there. And then the man of God was praying, and he was just praying, and then the prophecy came. There is a young man here. There is a young man. There's a young man here. You have been walking, nothing, you have been suffering, nothing is working for you. The man said that my mom screamed, he's my son, he's my son. Oh my God, it was crazy. And she came where I was standing and pulled me out and dragged me to the whole, in front of the congregation. And the man said, oh, you know how you're so vulnerable, you're been through a lot, you're just looking for a lifeline. And I started crying. I said, yes, I've been through. The pastor prayed for me and said, encourage me, and that was it. And let me fast forward a bit. So I was asking myself, why did I fail? I went to church and I was crying and I was taking notes. And then one thing stood out for me. One of the reasons, in fact, one of the most striking reasons why I failed was I was busy, I was doing everything, I was smart, I had ideas, but I wasn't selling, right? I wasn't selling. And that's what I advise a lot of people. A lot of things you do in business, if not all the things you do in business, take money away from the business. The only thing that brings money into a business is sales, all right? So I missed that part. I placed the cart before the horse. So I was more about the idea, I was more about the activity, but I wasn't exchanging value for money. And I was broke. So from there, I said, you know what, I'm going to turn a new leaf in my entrepreneurial life. And what I will call that part of, what will fuel that aspect of my life will be massive selling skills, right? So I started, And then at some point, I was testing different ideas. I remember a friend of mine gave me a place to squat in his office in Bagada. Eventually, he left from Bagada and then went to Ogbogu, somewhere in Ojota. I asked him to please give me a table and a chair and allow me to figure out the rest. So in his office, he gave me a table and a chair. And I remember I would walk from beginning of Ogbogu to the end of Ogbogu, and then from the beginning of Okpebi to Tony Street, looking for clients to just give me a space or give me a chance to add value. Got a lot of no's, a lot of people. I remember one day I went to a store in somewhere around Oregon, and I was knocking to enter, and the lady from the other side said, "What do you want?" She was speaking to me through the glass. And I said, "Please, can you let me enter first? Let me explain to you." He said, "No, just tell you." I said, "How can I tell you what I want to do here when the glass is already, obstructing my voice?" He said, No, if I can't stop, I should just go. And that was how she sent me off. But I kept on going. I remember I got should I call it the first break? Maybe the first break I got was I walked into a bakery in Okpebi, and somehow, you know how this thing works. Sometimes luck finds you, but for you to know that luck has found you is that preparation becomes the trigger, right? So I was prepared and I walked into the store and I saw the founder of the place. He was having a conversation with one of his staff. So I told him that, "Hey, sir, I am here. I would like to provide training service to your organization." And then he took the conversation to another level. Say, but I don't know whether I need a training now, but I need people that can help me recruit. So I said, yeah, I can help you do that. So he hired me, and the contract was everybody I get for him in his organization. These are things I've not even shared in the public yet. I was going to, so any amount they're paying the person, I was going to earn 10,000 from it. Okay. So I started that, and that got me going for a while. But then there's so much pressure and the anyhowness that comes with working with low-level staff in Nigeria frustrated me. At some point, I had to say, no, I'll not do it again. Because you hire somebody today, for example, let's say 1st of July, and the organization has paid you, let's say they are paying the person 30,000 naira, quote unquote, as salary. So the company has paid you 40K or 10K ahead. And then 10th of that July, they call you and say, this person you gave us, so he's not, he didn't come to work today. Please, you have to replace him. And you're like, oh God. And then you start looking for somebody else. They are calling you up. It was crazy. At some point I said, man, I can't, I fit into God. Let me use that word. And but the first break I got was from So Fresh. I remember attending a conference at TerraCulture. Was it TerraCulture? Was it TerraCulture? Yeah, I think TerraCulture. And the co-founder or the wife of the CEO of So Fresh was on stage. She was speaking. And among all the speakers that were there, she was the one that, I found that connection, with. So when she was done, I approached her and I said, "No, man, I love your presentation. I would like to be a friend. I do this, I do that." And then she eventually invited me to their office. And then, cut the long story short, I got a 1-year retainer with them. And that was the money I used in renting an apartment. So by the time they paid me the money, I was excited. We did the training. By then, Felix had already been with me. We were still doing, because maybe Felix's story will come later. But I used the money to pay for our apartment, moved out from my family house, and then we started from there. And then we started the incubators, Africa, which was actually fueled by the idea of creating a platform where young entrepreneurs can come, cross-fertilize ideas, help each other, build capacity for growth, and of course, build it to a point where we could even serve as an enabler to helping them get access to funding. But then, as we continue to grow and expand to other cities, I realized that the capacity that we had built at that time was way smaller than the growth we were experiencing. So we started having more calls from other cities asking us to come and open, but of course, we had not done our homework in terms of creating the structures and the revenue or the business model for it. So that also had its own toll on me. In the course of running the Incubators Africa, the idea of Sabi Writer struck me. I'm a gifted writer. I'm talented in writing as well as speaking. But then there was a particular person that reached out to me and she said she wanted to write a book. And I said, you know what, but she has been struggling. And I said, I can assist you, be your accountability partner, hold you accountable to ensure that you stick to your goal. I did that for her for a while, but she was still struggling. She said, so I'm tired, I'm too busy. And I said, you know what, let me handle it for you. So she said, well, go ahead. And then I started working with her on her memoir, helping her out. And then just like a light bulb, the idea struck me. Hey, you know what, you could do this for a lot of people. That was when it is, a lot of people are now coming out now to say, they are young writers, which is very good. But at that time, it was not as prevalent as it is right now. And then I started from my bedroom, with just myself, Felix, and one other lady that joined us at the early stage. And 0 clients, 0 funding, but we're just doing. And then from my bedroom, we grew to my sitting room. And then from my sitting room, we grew to where we are today. I remember back then when I moved into my sitting room, you wouldn't have known on Facebook, but that was it. Man, so damn it. What am I using my sitting room for? I'm single, for crying out loud. Why should I go and rent an office when I can't fill the entire flat? I converted my sitting room to an office. So if you called me when I was in my sitting room back then, I will tell you I'm in the office. If you called me when I was in the bedroom, I will tell you I was at home. If you called me while I was on the passageway, I will tell you either I was going to the office or I was going home, depending on how you look at it. So, that's the thing. Was I lying? Absolutely not. For God's sake, that's my office, and then that. Interestingly, the first set of staff that joined me did not even know I was living in that space. So by the time they come to work by the 9 o'clock, I'm already dressed up, I'm seated. They're like, boss, you arrived late, early to work. I say, yeah, it's the Lord's doing. And then by the time they leave, I will just shut down everywhere and then take my bath and then go sleep in the bedroom. But we're very, very focused. We're very, very diligent. And then we continued building. And today, from all that to where we are today, I don't want to assume that we are there yet. Of course, there's so much to be done. But I'm very grateful that there's a story to be told and how far we have come. Today, in Sabi Writers, we have clients cut across different parts of Africa, 27 staff, and 2 years that we have been running, we have never owed salary for a day. Have one of the best places to work in Africa. So many things. I'm excited, and that's a bit of the story.
Wow, I mean that's some story.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew a bit of it. I kept trying to nudge you, just keep it up, keep doing it, just keep doing it, and finally you did it. I remember when you first called me and said, "So what do you think about writing for people?" And I'm like, how do you monetize that? And you're like, I know we monetize. I'm like, hey, so I'll use kids. And we kept brainstorming and stuff like that. And it was around, I saw the passion. I saw this guy is talented. He's just not using his talent the way he should. And I mean, the amazing thing is that you've gotten to that level. And something I want to bring out is this. A lot of us start something and we think this is where we're supposed to be. Because I mean, if I told you 3 years ago when we started Incubators, 4 years ago when we started Incubators Africa, and I said, no, your destiny is not with Incubators, your destiny is to become an agency across Africa, across the world that helps this. You probably say, nah, I'm building this. So the awareness to be able to wait, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This will still get me to my goal of bringing entrepreneurs together, because you're writing for a lot of entrepreneurs, you're writing for a lot of leaders, celebrities, you're doing a lot of stuff. And yeah, you're going to be writing my book soon. So you're doing a lot of
it's not that we are not allowed to mention the names of our clients to the public, but our clients have intimidating portfolio of clients that we work with. And of course, the quality and the magnitude of project that we're handling is high level. And of course, it will be an honor for us to handle your book.
Why did you? So one question, guys, if you have questions, please push your questions. Why did you not give up? Why? I mean, I mean, I've had a lot of people. John Oke's story was, similar, with only about 1,000 naira in his pocket, coming all the way to Lagos, nothing to do, just a computer, and he had to make it. He had to figure out a way to do something. Now today, John controls hundreds of millions of now. The question now is, why didn't you give up? A lot of people come to me every day, and when I talk to them, I'm like, "God, you not even started," and it's like, it's like, if you say I'm not even started, let me work now. Why would you say I've not even started? I've done this, I've done this, and I'm like, no, you've never started.
Yeah.
So at what point? I mean, a lot of people are listening to this, and a lot of people are going to watch this video 1 year from now. Why did you not get to the point where you say, you know what, I'm done with this. Let me go and look for work. Even if it means to wash plates in a restaurant, let me just go and look for work. Why did you
one thing that runs through my mind is life has already knocked me to the ground. Life has given me life has given me its best punch, right? I was done already, so where will I go? If I give up, so where? What else? So I was already down. I was broke. Well, how bad could it get? So the only certain way to change my condition was to embrace it and choose to move ahead. And I felt that, look, there were so many persons whose destinies are tied to mine, right? So imagine I had given up. Sabi writers currently have amazing, amazing stories of people we have worked with whose lives have changed. There's so many persons who have joined us as staff who one of my staff said to me, she was working in an organization where she was very, very maltreated, very toxic environment. And this seemed to be the first place she's working where she's treated like a queen. So if I had given up, what would have happened? What would have happened? So what I always think about when challenges hit me is, this thing you are doing is not for you. You are too small to be the entire picture of God's plan for this idea He has given you. You're too small. And pardon me to go into scripture. He said, write the vision down. And then he said something very interesting, so that those that read it, so it's not you. So that when others read the vision, they can run with it. So the vision is not just about you, it's about others. So when I think about all of this on a constant and a daily basis, I choose to get up again and go take another shot. So most times when you are trying to give up on anything, at the core of that feeling is selfishness, because you are thinking about yourself. But when you know that there are so many persons that will die, so many persons that will lose their jobs, so many persons that will not have a place to call home because you gave up, then you will know that that feeling that you're having is just, it's not something that should keep you down. So anytime I'm down, anytime I feel like throwing in the towel, I just imagine the number of persons that we have not even started. For God's sake, what is 27 for God's sake? Facebook is employing over 50,000 persons or thereabouts. Walmart is employing over 1 million persons, globally. What are we talking about? So 27, what's the fraction of that? So the journey is still far. So I'm asking myself, if I'm giving up at this level, why is it that Dangote is not giving up at the level where he's having a 50 billion naira debt on his head? So this kind of thinking is what fuels me to keep pressing forward.
Wow.
And another thing that works for me is I don't look like my challenges. And I don't know, maybe it's a gift.
I can say that.
I can be going through a lot, but I still have a fresh
When I was called and said, hey, somebody's waiting for something for you. And I'm like, who is that? And they're like, someone's at the gate. His name is Chinonso. I'm like, oh, yeah, let him. And I saw this guy wearing a suit, dressed up, oh, I'm just coming from a TV interview, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So let's talk. And that, I mean, yes, you were real to me, but it showed me something. It's not, we don't have to wear our problems on our faces. We don't have to wear our problems on our heads if we want to get to that next level. Nobody's going to be able to give you that opportunity if you're already down and out. So
absolutely. My philosophy in life is that I don't have to look like my challenges in order to solve them. You don't have to look like your challenges. In fact, if you start telling somebody that can bless you about your challenge, the person will bless you the first day. When you tell them the second day, they will bless you again. But when you tell them the third time, you become a burden.
Yeah.
So it's a philosophy in life. When people begin to receive more of your problem, you become a burden to them. So I choose not to, imagine I come to you and I said, you have 10 million to invest. You're just lying there, you're looking for a young person to invest. And I come to you and I say, sir, please help me. I've not paid my rent. I need money. You will give me the rent, no doubt, but you won't give me the 10 million. You will invest in me.
Yep.
Why? Because, I tell people that you don't succeed in life out of pity. You succeed out of principles.
Mm-hmm.
So people should not pity. People will not pity you to success. It has to be based on principles. Somebody can give you, handout based on pity, but it won't take you there. So you need to understand how this thing plays out. And that is why, I worry about a lot of young people when you see somebody that could be of help to you, and the first thing you're thinking of is how can the person help you? No, how can you help the person? Because when you help the person and deliver value, you elevate the point of negotiation.
I agree.
The platform changes immediately, right? Immediately I give you value, the platform changes immediately. Part of the reason why Sabir Rider has access to some of the top CEOs in Nigeria, some of the top celebrities, some of the top, diplomats, is because we deliver value, right? When they have the headache, when they don't know what to do, they call us, and we just seamlessly show them how to go about it. And then they elevate the conversation. And they are telling us, Sabira, so what do you think about this? I want to do it this way. And then that's when you now know that you guys are having a conversation on the same plane. Then the big deal comes. But when you keep putting yourself in the point of, I need help all the time, people will give you the help, they will give you the handout, but of course, they won't take you to the next level. And that's my advice to young people.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I remember when I see the front of the bank CEO and I go like, how can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're not doing badly, but you could do better. I could do this and this and this and this. And people think I have this uncanny, witty, annoying confidence, but it's not just that. It is give value. You get value.
It's not even about you. That's the way the world is configured. That's the natural way the world is configured. The moment you start thinking about, and I think that is where a lot of us, young startup founders, and then of course employees of organizations get it all wrong. I always tell my people in my team, constantly give. Why is it that people respect my content on social media? Why? Because I give the content. Why is it that people respect Sabira? We give values to our clients, right? Why is it that people respect Ronaldo? He gets into the field and he gives his best skill and he gives his best self to the game. And you enjoy the football. And then you rate him high. But when he sits in the bench and he doesn't give his talent, he sits there every day and he's watching the game, his value drops, right?
I agree.
So that's how it works.
You have a lot of questions. A lot. I don't even know where to start.
I'm seeing all the questions already.
So let me start taking one. Okay, so from Bright says, Sabi man, can you recommend amazing books that can change your life?
Oh boy, this books thing. They keep asking me to recommend books. I don't even know. Sometimes when I get this inbox message, I don't even know how to respond. Honestly, I have a lot of books that I read. I have a library in the office. I have a library at home. The other day he called me and said, "Guy, you didn't read." But for God's sake, I love reading. It freshens my mind. I wish I could. The books I'm reading 2 books currently. Sell like crazy, because we are trying to upscale our sales to another level, and I need to constantly work on my mind to make that happen. And then I bought a book for. Copy of the book was 40K from one of the best journalists that ever that is a Nigerian. Maybe title of the book is 50 leaders in the boardroom. And the reason I decided to buy that book was okay.
No, I'm reading this one.
Oh, okay. I'll look out for it. 1 million followers, how I built a massive social following in 30 days. Oh, I understand. And you see, I understand why you want to read that book, because because I'm already seeing where you want to connect to Simeon too in terms of the content, strategy, and everything. So you are reading to get ideas on how to add value to what you are doing, which is a very critical strategy when it comes to reading. Read because you want to solve yes, there's a first part of reading that has to do with solving an aspect of your life or business. And then there's another aspect of reading that has to just getting in the information, working on the mindset. So for me, I think define exactly what you want to achieve in life. What exactly are you going? And then there are always books out there. There are platforms. You can visit any bookstore. Stop sending messages on social media. What books are you reading? I don't even know how to answer that. Please, if you're in Lagos, go to Latana store. By the time you walk from the beginning to the end, you will buy at least 10 books, right? Now, the 10 books that you buy, I'm more concerned about the attitude of going to the store and being hungry for knowledge and walking through, walking by every of the shelf in the store and then picking a book, keeping one, picking, and then selecting your best 5 and pay for it and walking with. That's what I'm more concerned about than just telling you, these are the books I'm reading, that. You might read the same book that I'm reading, but you will not get the same results.
Exactly.
You know the difference is the person reading it.
Exactly. So let's go to
so work on yourself. That attitude of there's one of my staff that anytime she sees me reading a book, she tells me, "Sir, please, when you're done, give it to me." I love that attitude, right? But I told her, look, in fact, recently we did a staff one day retreat training. And I told them, look, guys, I want you guys to subscribe for Forbes magazine. So some of my staff are already subscribing for Forbes magazine. And this is that interesting. But the attitude of wanting to know more, if you really need it bad enough, so I walk into any store and go shop for your book. And then it makes more sense.
Next question, we'll try and rush the questions now. So part of where do you see your company in 10 years, 5 to 10 years?
Oh, okay. 5 to 10 years. Sabi Writers is evolving rapidly. A lot of people think in Sabi Writers is a writing powerhouse. I'm proud to say that, not because of not because of what you see me do on social media and then you're using that to job, but there's so many things that are happening behind the screen. We have up to 6 departments. So we are building a content powerhouse. Anything concerning writing, whether you're writing, whether editorial, content design, we have in our design team, content audio, content video, already unlocking that. So what we want to achieve in 5 years, number one, we want to be able to create more jobs for young people. In 5-10 years, we should be doing about 1,000 staff. That's my goal.
Cool. Okay. So next question. Let's take the next one. What would you say your biggest break at Sabi Writers came?
What point would you say was your biggest break at Sabi Writers? What point? I don't know. There are many big breaks that we have had, even though
I can help Chinonso here because one thing I remember telling Chinonso was you already know entrepreneurs. You already know certain people who are writing their books. Just start talking to them. By the time you talk to the first person and you give value, that person is going to tell the next person. When somebody comes to me and says, I want to write a book, I say, I don't understand. Do I look like a writer? You don't have to Sabi Writers. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, you realize that unconsciously people are selling for you. So I mean,
yesterday
create your network.
Yesterday we received a call from some guy, and then he said he heard about us and he said to us and he's calling us to write a book for one of the biggest pastors in Lagos, or in Nigeria rather. And I asked him, so who is this person? He refused to tell us. And then I said, okay, we're used to that. This is how we work and all of that.
What is being a business?
So I understand a lot of clients, they do that, of course. And then by the time I asked him his name, he told me his name. Interestingly, I had to do a background check on him, which is part of the things I would advise young entrepreneurs. You have to constantly be curious. Business is war. Business is like playing chess. You have to think 5. In fact, there's a statement in Sabi Writers that almost all the staff, recite is always think 5 steps ahead. Always think 5 steps ahead. So by the time I did the research, and guess who the person was? I won't tell you.
I wouldn't guess.
one of the biggest names in Nigeria. If I mention the name, the internet will break. But we are still on. We are still praying to God that they eventually find us worthy to take on the project. But but that goes to tell you that there's so many experiences in Sabi Writers that for me is a big break. I'm not waiting for one big thing to happen. I enjoy the journey as I travel along. So in fact, let me say this and let me be honest with you. There's a client that terminated our contract, right? Very big guy in the oil industry space. We're working on a book for him, sent him, the first 2 drafts. I think one of the reasons why that happened was at the early stage, I was the one doing most of the writing. So I will run the company from Monday to Friday, the administrative things, and then Saturday to Sunday, I'll be writing from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. Sunday, the same thing. I practically did not have a private life. It was strenuous. So that slowed down the project. He was angry because we were not fast. He was angry because the quality of work was not what he wanted. And then one day I was in the office when a mail dropped. And he said, hello, Sabi Writers. I'm sorry to announce to you, I hereby terminate this contract. It was a big blow. Because at that point, we needed the money. But that's part of it, right? Mm-hmm. So there are so many, but you have to enjoy the process. If you're waiting for one big break before you now say, oh, now I'm an entrepreneur, you'll be taking a rain check on your happiness.
I agree, 100%. I mean, I can even take it abroad. If Elon was Elon was not, constantly building, and 10 years later he has sent somebody to the moon, he would just be waiting forever for his big break. But he worked consistently on what he was doing, and things worked. So let's take the next question. So which one?
A tech startup called.
I didn't want to take this question, but I mean, hey, Babatunde, I run an agri-tech startup called Asiki. How can Sabi Writers help us? You have to pay me for this one.
Our value proposition is very clear. We are purely writing content, great writing content. Whether it's your website you want to write, or a corporate profile, or you want to do a press release for your upcoming product, or you want to write product description, whatever it is you want to write, we're a 360-degree writing solution company. Which for me, I know sometimes you struggle with that. You're focused on growing your company, growing your sales, but you don't have the time to sit down. Neither do you want to have hire somebody in-house and have to manage the person. Why not just outsource it to Sabi Writers? As a matter of fact, we have a website that's within your space that we are scripting. It's also within the agro space. We are scripting the entire site from beginning to the end, because we understand not just the writing aspect of that particular work, but also the sales aspect. So when we are scripting, we're not scripting like just a writer, but also salespeople. So whatever it is you want to do, as long as it's writing, we'll be glad to help you out. Or maybe you want to write a corporate profile of AppTech, or you want to apply for funding and you need some kind of pitch deck, we also do that. So it's cut across. As long as it's writing, we can always help you out with that. But of course, you have to pay us.
Of course. So before I take any other question, I've been told by my producer that I need to announce this. So yes, I said it before, I said it again. What we did during COVID, what happened to us was we realized that a lot of people were losing their jobs, a lot of people were, businesses were shutting down, and a lot of things were going wrong. And because the company I work for, Connected Analytics, I am CEO of Thank You Cash. What we do is we help businesses use data analytics to grow by constantly rewarding their customers, constantly engaging their customers, and using data to understand better their customers. So what we did was simple. We built a new platform, which we're just about to launch, which would allow you build a business on our business. And automatically what it means is simple. You using your car, within your area, you could actually distribute products and earn a fee for it. Now, it is you building a business, and that's why we call them ambassadors. So we're launching the Thank You Cash Ambassadors. If you're on the web or you have a note, you can write this down. Thankyoucash.com is THANKUKCASH. Thankyoucash.com /ambassadors. Go there, register. and someone would hit you up and engage you, and you would be able to earn at the least 200,000 as a side hustle from us. It's good life. We have limited spaces. We already have thousands of people that want to join. So please, if you go, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody. It is thankyoucash.com/ambassadors. If I have anybody around from the Thank You Cash team, you could just put it down there in the comment section and people can actually go to it. It's thankyoucash.com/ambassadors. Now I'm going to play a video to show you that shortly. But Chinonso, back to you.
Okay.
What do you see as future? So we have very few minutes left. What do you see as the future of Nigerian? So I throw this question to everybody because the reason why, like I said, I started this program was simple. There are a lot of us that have gone through a lot of things.
A lot of people are still asking questions.
Yes. So a lot of people are asking questions. So I have a question and I'm going to post it shortly. If you look at in the press, if you go to Google and type Nigeria,
Yes.
the next thing it gives you option is scam, or it gives you option, is different things. So the question you ask yourself is it something you want to like work with? Is it something you want to, deal with and stuff like that? How do you achieve that ambassador? How do you help Nigerians to get to that next level? How do we start changing? Like you're writing a lot of things. And why I'm engaging you on this particular question is, how do you change narrative? How do you change Africa? How do you change Nigeria? How do you change that Google ranking of us being the most corrupt, the most youthfully corrupt country in the world to, hey, we have entrepreneurs, we have problem solvers. We're ranked about the highest at Harvard. Oxford ranks us about the highest African country. Like a lot of people but they don't see these parts. Nobody sees those parts. Everybody talks about, fraud and, things, and our government is not even helping us. But how do you, as you change this narrative from a writer perspective?
Okay. I think one of the challenges that we have as a country is we want to try to change Nigeria through rhetorics, and it has not worked for years. The template for making massive transformation is all around us. Let's take Dubai, for example. Where was Dubai, 20, 30 years ago? Where was Singapore? Where was China years back? Where were these nations? If you take a look at why these nations eventually emerged, it was not based on rhetorics. For me, I believe that a lot of us should just shut up and start building things, right? We talk too much. It's a typical Nigerian has big grammar, but there's nothing to back it up. So one of the major ways for us to start changing our narrative is start building things that matter. Let's bring down. Change your educational system. Improve on it. Nobody will be talking against it. Nobody will insult your education. Change it. If you are saying that they are saying your education is bad, then is it bad or not? If it's bad, then change it. Right? If you say what they call the roads are Nigerian roads are death trap, and you don't like it, then change it. Simple. Don't go to media and say, why should he be talking about us? You should not be telling us that. No, change it. If you don't like what you're getting, if you don't like what people are saying about you, and it's true, which is actually true in many sense, our roads are bad, where we need to, our educational system is terrible. Somebody asked me, what was my CV like? For God's sake, I can't even remember. I don't even know where my what they call it, my certificate.
I don't want to take this question, but I
don't even know where. I don't even know where it is. I've not taken any course in writing. I have not taken any. I read banking and finance. But right now that we are doing so much in this space, we are now creating room for trainings. In fact, the training that we had last Friday was massive. It was an 8-hour session. We went too deep into training, editing, and all of that. But this is something I was born with. And thankfully, I understand business. So it also helped. So back to the question, I think a lot of young people need to start building. But is that an excuse to things that have happened in Nigeria from our leaders? Absolutely not. Whether we like it or not, no matter how much positivity we want to display, we cannot separate the part of policy development and politics in the equation of national development. We can tell youth, forget about government, go and build your thing, stay positive. Yeah, we can say all that, which is good. I don't have a problem with that. But you see, national transformation is a convergence of a lot of factors, which must work together to create a unified result that is, that's massive and can change things for a longer term, right? So yes, the youth should focus on their grind, they should build things, but also the politicians should get the policies and the programs and the politics right. Because there's a reason why that system of society was there in the first place. So we cannot separate them from the responsibility of national development or transformation. So we must approach all of this from different angles. From the media needs to, I'm still looking for a radio or TV station that has a Pan-African philosophy in their thinking and execution. I've not seen that yet, because if we understand the power of that, then we can borrow a leaf from what this station is doing in China, the equivalent of CNN in China.
Yes.
When you tune into that station, you will see how they're constantly pushing out the narrative of China being a global power, being that they are productive, they are doing things. But there is nobody doing that in Nigeria. If you go to the film industry, and we may consider it a joke, and I understand, but it has a fundamental problem that we are not addressing. When we project a Nigerian policeman as someone that is hungry, as someone that cannot button his shirt properly, as someone that is wearing a faded black shirt, uniform shirt, when we continue projecting that narrative, a child that is born tomorrow will see that narrative and will tell you that that's what he will pick up.
Yep,
right? So when that child grows up and is in the community of global thinkers and this issue is raised up, he doesn't have references of strong narrative to defend that case.
Totally agree with you.
So if we want to bring Nigeria to a whole new level, then it has to be an holistic. First, the educational system must be good, because you cannot give what you don't have. We must change our educational system. Two, the media has to play a big role, because part of the reason why many people have not been to Sabi Villa, many of people have not worked with Sabi writers, many of people have not even seen me in person. But you see, they have a mindset about Sabi writers is the best, Sabi writers is the leading. How did they come up with that mindset? Media. We're able to use social media to drive the narrative, but we back this narrative with hard work. So it's not enough for the media to be doing their narrative formation and agenda shaping. We have to be doing the work. We have to build the roads. We have to set the policy right. We have to get everything right. By the time we get a critical mass of issues right in Nigeria, transformation happens naturally. People see this transformation and they change their existing mindset about you.
I agree.
There's so many people think, you said in the beginning when I called you and told you about Sabi writer, you probably thought I was crazy. As a matter of fact, one of my board members, in fact, the man I consider, dear to my heart, the CEO of So Fresh. When I told him about Sabi writers, he did not understand. He did not believe me. He said, so what does it mean? But the only way I could convince him was not to sit down in his office and try to speak grammar and was to go back and build. By the time we built it, he came, saw it, and then he understood.
I mean, I love that thing. Just go do it. Just do it.
Go build it. Sometimes to change the mindset of people, you need to take them to the venue of the construction.
Yeah.
Just take them to the venue of construction. Let them see that the vision is taking shape, and then they will believe. Stop speaking. If you say your parents don't support your dream, take them to the venue.
Exactly.
Bring them to let them see where the construction is going on. Most likely they will understand you. So stop sitting in your house and say they are not supporting you.
I want this to continue, but we need to go. I have just 2 more minutes and I need to do some housekeeping. Thank you. I mean, if you have, I'm going to bring Chinonso back if you guys want it. Just send me an email, make comments on Facebook. It's at Simeon Onobi on all social media platforms, and I'll bring Chinonso back. He's my boy. I can drag him back here.
I'm your boy. It's tomorrow.
So, thanks, Chinonso. Thanks for making our time. I know how busy you are.
Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
This video is going to be available for the next 1 year on our Connect with Simeon channel. And if you have any questions, if you have to reach Chinonso, you want to reach him, please send me a message. I can't take more questions. I'm seeing more questions. I can't take more questions. Please send me a message, and Chinonso will deal with it, and I'll bring him back. Don't forget, like I said, go to thankyoucash.com, the ambassadors, and get it. On Friday, we're having a special guest. We're having Chioma Eze of Accounting Hub. Chioma Eze is joining us on Friday and going to be our guest. To follow up on Chinonso's story, you need somebody else that will give you some good stories. So don't miss next week. Chinonso, thanks for coming. I'm going to be booking out a video right now. God bless. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Yeah. So yes, having said that, I'm going to be quickly playing you a quick one. Just watch this video. It's just going to take you 1 minute and get more information about Thank You Cash Ambassadors. Yeah, that was Thank You Cash Ambassadors. We just launched it today. It's a fresh new platform. You're guaranteed to earn as you work. You have control of your time. You have everything. If you want more information, quickly hurry up to thankyoucash.com/ambassadors, register, and you will get all the information you need to get. If you have any questions, I am so excited to help you work this. We can walk through this COVID period together. We can grow the economy together, and we're always here to help you. Thank you guys for tuning in today. It has been my pleasure hosting Chinonso. I hope you learned a lot today. If there's 3 takeaways from it, keep hustling. Don't believe in what people say. Once you have a vision, add a goal to it and make sure you achieve that goal. Number 2, get network, get friends, get people, bother them, let them come to your aid whenever you need them. And number 3, just go do it. And that is me saying ciao for today until I meet you on Friday. This is me saying ciao. Thank you and God bless.
Look around you. Where you are right now, as you're watching this, look around your house. There are tools you have you're not using that can actually fetch you a whole lot of funds.
Forget about what people are saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. What people say about you or think about you is none of your business.
Many entrepreneurs want to build a business at the same time feed from the business. It cannot work. In Lagos,
but you just get to do something. Stop waiting for the manna to fall from heaven.
never you at any point think you have 100% strength. It's not possible. So as a leader, you focus on your strength 100%, then your weakness, you get someone to fill it in. Now, the person you are bringing in, ensure that the person's weakness is your strength.
You have to come with something to the table. So what are you coming with as a woman? What are you bringing? Is it your intellect? Is it your beauty? We all know that beauty doesn't help anybody. If not, I'll be where Dangote is today.
Please, if you are listening to me, don't try and sell what is not sellable if you don't have the funds to push it.
Thank you for connecting with Simeon Ononobi today. Live sessions hold every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Please turn on post notifications for live updates.